36 years of basketball knowledge and life skills. Your host, Coach Goins, focuses on today's topics on and off the court, helping players and coaches achieve their goals. So get ready for another fast break episode of Basketball More Than a Game with your host, Coach Goins.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach Goins, and I'm your host of Basketball More Than a Game. So listen, it has been a while. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been able to jump back in the studio. But in those 2 weeks, you know how it is. We've been on the grind. It has been hot and heavy. And just trying to get everything lined up, everything rocking and rolling. So, you know, the big thing and the good thing there is that, you know what, it is so important that we just, give homage to our continued supporters, and that's Mr. Curtis Jackson out of the great state of North Carolina. So for your insurance needs, as he always says, don't wait till something happens. Reach out and give him a contact at area code 919-614-5796. Again, area code 919-614-5796 for your insurance needs. So listen, Coach Goins has got a lot of stuff to cover in reference to the podcast, as well as, some of the other events that we've been rocking and rolling and everything else that's been going down. So it's so great to be back in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. I had the opportunity to be up on Wall Street and saw a good friend of mine, Mr. Jay Bozick. So we definitely want to give Jay a shout out, and everybody that's from Southern Pines to Pinecrest, and he was actually class of 1983. He was in class with my brother Morris. So again, so great to see him. It's our third time that we went up to New York and hang out with him for a few hours, and also had my number one road guy as it relates to going to New York and BTIG, and that's Mr. Aaron Eppert, as I refer to him as the governor. Soon-to-be governor of the state of Virginia. That is just a little side joke. But no, Aaron is a senior at Liberty University, outstanding young man, and it's a pleasure to be able to jump in the vehicle and cruise up to New York and have a good time. But the main thing is, we go up and we really, spending the day, and there was President Clinton there. It was great to see Jeff Capel, head basketball coach at Pitt University. And new position just came out of Duke as associate head coach, but also Shaquille O'Neal. Again, the list just goes on. A-Rod, Walt Frazier, I got Phil Simms. So again, it's just a room full of stars, a room full of celebrities, and we just have the opportunity. Again, thanks, Jay, for allowing us to come up. And we go up and spend about 3 or 4 hours and just kind of hamming it up and just spending some time with those guys, again, for a worthy cause. And that's for ACT Sports. And that's our local sports organization here in Augusta County. So if you're looking for a great opportunity to place your kid in a sports program, we definitely challenge you to take a look at ACT Sports, and that is in Augusta County. And you go to the website at playactsports.com. So before we get into everything rocking and rolling today, we just want to make sure that you can subscribe, like us, follow us, leave us a comment. The great thing here is understand that, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, my YouTube channel, Coach Lamont Goins, also my website, coachgoins.podbean.com. You can check us out on Facebook. We're doing this live show on Facebook, and also Lionfish Entertainment out of Los Angeles, California. We want to thank all of our listeners from around the country. And again, we're so excited. We've just gone into a new country, and that is, here was the thing that was just absolutely blown me away. We are now in Russia. So we've got listeners in Russia, so we certainly appreciate them. So I always like to give a shout out to our international countries, and I'll just run down that list, and it has grown to 20. So we're so excited about that. So in that process, we've got United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, Australia, Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, Dominican Republic, Finland, Ireland, Russian Federation, Albania, Kuwait, Tunisia, Vietnam, Ghana, France, United Arab Emirates, and Denmark. So we're so excited for everybody that is continuing to tune us in. Check us out as we continue to lay it down here on Basketball More Than a Game. So without further ado, our topic that we're going to be talking about today is love. And you say, what is love and why is that important? And Coach, why you want to talk about a topic, as such as, as sensitive as love is? Because here's the thing, a lot of times people don't understand, or people don't want to stop and I don't want to say give homage, but, when I actually was sitting down and watching the royal wedding this weekend, it kind of just was, going through the channels, and it was on, and I kind of got caught up, just from the the realness of it, if you will. And then the minister that was preaching, and he preached on love, and the songs that was sung. Again, it's just a culmination of the entire event. Again, of course, United States, we don't have anything of that caliber, type of a wedding, but just being able to capture that and really, can see the sincereness from the bride and groom and everybody that was in attendance. It was just a great, great thing. And so we just want to call that out. And, a lot of times, and a lot of people has posted, just saying that, hey, and, had the, looked at, didn't watch the wedding. And again, I just got caught up, and I just took time out. And as I started watching, and I really, say, hey, you know what? This is pretty good. This is, pretty nice that it all came together, which is important. And that's what it's all about. So, with that, love is important. Love is a huge, huge part of our lives. And then just to see two people stand there and understand that, two people become one. So we wish them continued success as they are newlyweds, as they approach this new challenge in life. So, and with that, just kind of go ahead and just let us roll right into our main segment today. And the main segment we're going to be talking about is our fast break portion of the podcast. And that is going to be talking about the challenge, which is, how do you challenge yourself? And what we want to concentrate here is facing complex and demanding tasks and problems. A lot of times people don't know what to do when they're faced with when they're faced with a situation or a challenge. So what we challenge you here on Basketball More in the Game, it's not just a basketball show. We talk about, the hard subjects in life. Folks call, we have, different guests on our show. And this makes our 60th episode that we're launching, and this will come out tonight. But, when you look at it, across the board, it is so, it's very challenging. And again, and that's, we have to be able to understand that, we have to realize that we're going to have demanding tasks on us, and we're going to have to understand, that we're going to be facing problems. And the thing is my pastor eloquently puts a lot of times, there's 3 phases to a storm. Either you're going through a storm, you're in the middle of one, or you just came out of a storm. Wow, that was a mouthful. And that's a topic in the session that we could talk about all night long. But the challenge is being able to say, as Denzel Washington always says, what do? Don't fall back, fall forward. You fall 7 times, get up 8. And keep rocking and rolling, because if you didn't, guess what? You wouldn't be able to be the person that you are today. So the main thing is what are you going to do when you're faced with that challenge? So whether it is on the court, whether it's off the court, whether it is a situation where you're doing what's happening, what's going on, you got to realize that, you got to fall forward. You got to be able to get up and move on and understand that, you're going to have demanding tasks, and you will do what? You will be able to understand that you will have problems. Okay. Hey, listen, I just seen one of the coolest cats that I've ever known. One of the guy, he is just number one, the skill set that he has with his hands. He also is able to deal with that eloquently as well. He's been on the show, and that's none other than brother Philip Brown, from my hometown. Again, grew up together, and he is in Texas now, and he is just he's just a cut above. So when you have an opportunity, check him out on Facebook. He's the handyman of public speaking, Mo Better Brown, and what I always look for is Mo Better Mondays, and he rolls that out. So again, appreciate you and the shout out, Philip, and we'll have to hook up and definitely have you back on the podcast. It's been almost a year, so we've got to double back and bring that down. Because here's the thing, folks, it's all about giving back. It's not about us sitting here, and having our opinion. What we try to do is, produce something that people can go on and have an opportunity to, one, listen to, digest, and be able to, again, as we say today, our challenge word today is what? Is challenging, be able to understand that during the demanding task in our lives, we've got to be able to do what? Understand what that looks like, and be able to push forward through our problems. So that is a huge piece. So at this point, again, we just want to stop, and we just want to give a shout out to Act Sports, which is an absolutely dynamic sports program here in Augusta County. And so if you are interested, we just get ready. Actually going on right now is registration for track and field as well as wrestling. So what you want to be able to do is, number one, jump on their website, playactsports.com. That's playactsports.com. Register. Listen, we're always looking for great, coaches. We're also looking for, exciting talent. Don't worry about it. If you're new, we'd love to have you. If you never coached before, come on out, get that application squared away, jump in, and don't sit on the sidelines and say, "Hey, I wish I should have cut, I should have did this, I should have done that." And when that first practice starts, then you want to work your way, from the top of the bleachers down to that first row of the bleacher, and the next thing you know, you want to get the basketball, you want to come out there and you want to help coach, just because you're in the gym. So hey, I'm not calling you out. I'm just calling it what it is. Okay, so we want to definitely thank them for their continued support of Basketball More Than a Game. Their directors have been on the show. They did a tremendous job. They're originally from Tennessee. They're Tennessee fans. Their youngest son is a Steeler fan, so he is definitely always welcome to hang out with Coach Goins. But no, they are great people. They run a fine organization, and that's part of why we go to New York, again, to be able to get. And they're one of our sponsors out of New York, and be able to go up, and secure that nice monetary donation from up off of Wall Street, bring it back, and be able to bless the young kids of here in Augusta County. Okay, so listen, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. Here's the thing. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs. You kind of sit back and you really take a look at this whole wide world thing, and you say, you know what, man? Some people say, man, they just stretch the games out for 7 games. Well, let Coach Goins reel that in, if you will. They only get paid for 4 games. Okay, so. In that whole piece, and people say, well, they're stretching to get paid. They on the 7-game series. Players only paid for 4 games. So it is very competitive. So you can drop back and punt that one if you so desire. But the whole thing is there. Cleveland's got to play better defense. LeBron can score 40, 45, 50, but they're gonna have to play defense, and that's the difference in the series. And somebody said, well, why does a team play well on the road, and why the team doesn't play well at home? Is how do you function when you sleep in your bed at night? How do you function when you sleep in a hotel? How do you function when you play a ball game, and as soon as the ball game get over, you get on the aircraft and you fly to the next city? Then you got to check in your hotel and get back up and play that game. But bottom line, there is a huge difference, and home court advantage is a huge difference when you have that home crowd support. And it's a huge thing for role players, because role players, they feed off of that versus going into a hostile territory. So again, it's a huge impact to the game. So we certainly appreciate what those guys are doing, again, providing us the entertainment of basketball. Again, my call out is everybody stop shooting the 3-pointer. Everybody quit trying to be that 3-point expert and just play the game. It'll all be good. Now, coming out of the West, I don't want to really talk about those Golden State Warriors because they are what they are. Houston Rockets and James Harden. I've never really been, sold totally on James Harden, just because of his performance last year in the playoffs. Saw a little bit of that surface the other night when you really go and you really quit, and really don't. You really stop playing. You're really not, hard at it. So it's a huge. Deal is when these guys get out and they don't play hard. That's one of my good friends, Coach Bobby Collins. He has a T-shirt, and when he has camps, and on the back of the T-shirts, it says, you know what, win the day. You got to win every day in life. When you walk, every day that you get up and you're out and you're floating around and people are bumping into you, and you mess around and spill a little bit of your self-esteem. You know what? Bottom line, and a lot of times, people are not going to stop and help you fill your bucket of self-esteem up, because everybody that you come in contact with, everybody that you come across will not do what? They will not stop and say, you know what? You're the nicest person I ever met today. In the day, and move on. So, going through life, what you got to do, and I steal a line from Coach BC, is you got to win today. So that's so important. So listen, as we continue to rock and roll, again, let's talk about, how do you handle, and when you're faced with challenge and understanding, it's demanding task, it's life. Life is always going to be pulling, life is always going to be tugging. Family's going to be pulling, family's going to be tugging. Listen, nobody told you and nobody said that you were going to be on Easy Street and got it made Boulevard. You got to be able to do what? You got to be able to lace them up, get on the court, and do what you got to do in life. Be a winner. Be a winner each and every day. And no matter what you put your hands to, no matter what you put your heart to, as long as you have the passion, you have desire, you'll be fine, okay? And just like, as I said earlier, Denzel, and his, mantra was to do what? What do you want to do? You want to fall forward. You don't want to fall back. You want to fall forward. So you know what? We definitely want to toss that out and make sure that everybody understands. Today we've been talking about love. Today we also been talking about, being challenged and understand that entire process and what that process looks like. So listen, before we start winding this thing out again, I just want to definitely thank our title sponsor, and that's Mr. Curtis Jackson. For the folks that are in North Carolina for your insurance needs, please reach out. And when you talk to him, let him know that you certainly appreciate his support, because it's great businesses like Mr. Jackson's insurance company that allows us to stay on. This is our 60th episode. I've been able to do the podcast for over a year now. We're in 20 international countries. We've got only 2 more states to take care of in the United States, and then we're in all the 50 states in the U.S., which is huge. We've only got Montana and Vermont. So my challenge to, if you know anybody in Montana, anybody in Vermont, tell them to check out Coach Goins, send me an email, hit me up on the website, and we'll continue to rock and roll. And again, like I said, we're in 20 foreign countries. We just went into Russia last week. So it is so great, so cool to be able to hear, from people from all over the world. So, we don't take it any small. We value people's time. We don't get on here just to get on here. We want to make sure that it's impactful. So I can tell you right now, we've got some dynamic interviews and special guests lined up. We're so excited. We've got some things that we can't reveal at this point in time because it's behind the scenes stuff, but we're so excited about some of the things that we hopefully be able to pull off in the very, very near future that will be very impactful for a lot of folks. So listen, before we get ready to get out of here, I want to make sure that everybody can check us out. We're available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, my YouTube channel, that's Coach Lamont Goins. Also on my website, CoachGoins at podbean.com, Facebook, which I'm doing live today, and also doing a simultaneous podcast. So what that means is you'll be able to do what? You're able to check us out online, and you'll be able to check me out via the website, and also Facebook. And also I'm on Lionfish Entertainment out of Los Angeles, California. That is a company owned by a good friend of mine, Mr. Ralph Sampson. And again, certainly appreciate his support. Appreciate Curtis Jackson, that title sponsor, and also Act Sports here in Augusta County. We certainly appreciate the continued support as we continue to be able to get out and make a difference. So again, the key words today were challenge and also love, and that's the main thing. What you got to be able to, tell somebody that you love them. You got to be able to understand that we are going to be faced with challenges. We're going to be faced with, personal problems, but we just want to be able to work through that. Hey, look, I see my niece is on out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So we definitely want to send Crystal a shout out. So we send our love to her and her fantastic young men, and then they're growing up from boys to be men. So it's my brother's daughter, and think about her a lot. Also, and somebody asked me a couple fishing stories the other day, and then it was a little tough, because one of the ones I was telling was a story that when my brother and I was fishing, and my son, who's it's hard to believe he's almost 23, he brought it. He was in that conversation. He brought it up, and of course when he starts going down that road, I know exactly what story he's going to tell. So we send our love to Crystal and the family and the fellas, and hope you guys are well, and we'll be talking to you soon. So listen, Coach Goins has got to get ready to get up out of here, but we just want to jump on because I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to get out and let everybody knows what we got going on. But again, we are so excited about our continued growth internationally as well as the U.S. So my challenge, if you know anybody in Vermont and also Montana, let them know, we're out and about. Give us a shout, and we'd love to hear from you, as well as anybody in the U.S. Send me an email, jump on Facebook, hit me up on Facebook. But like I said, we've got some dynamic interviews coming up. We're going to be doing some live sessions, not just here in the studio, because again, I'm back in Virginia. So it's, again, good to be home. But the bottom line to it is we're trying to make a difference. Can't make a difference without you all, sending your questions, your comments back to us here, so we'll be able to entertain those and get that word out. So as we start wrapping this puppy up, always remember, the number one thing is this right here. Oh, wait a minute. I just seen one of my classmates jump on, Mr. Norris Spencer. You know what, Norris? Hope all is well, brother. I appreciate your support. We don't take it lightly. Somebody takes time out to hit me up. and send me a note, and we certainly want to appreciate that. And again, just like I said earlier, and I've had Philip Brown from Taylortown on, and I certainly appreciate that. But Norris, hope all is well on your end. So listen, I've got to get ready to get up out of here. I've been on for almost 20 minutes, and we just, like I said, we want to get on and give everybody an update what we've got going on basketball more in the game. So listen, you'll be seeing some tweets out on Twitter. You'll be seeing some stuff on Facebook. So we're so excited for the direction. And again, thank you so much for your continued support. So listen, I'm going to close with my favorite scripture verse. It says, I am the way, the truth, and the light. That's John 14:6. And like we always say, make sure you got your sneakers laced up and you got them laced up tight. And this is Coach Goins, and I'll see you in the gym.